sometimes I think it's harder if you think about how you're different, and you can think that maybe being different is bad. Being different is great, and you should really rejoice in those differences, and you should realize that whoever you are, whatever you bring, it's important, and that you are necessary.
At first, I didn't really have a name for it. I didn't know why and what was going on.
I was, I think, like many of us, very confused because the messages that we get from around us are that, you know, we're supposed to be heterosexual.
My friends began to go through their experiences and mostly be attracted to girls, and I was not.
I couldn't really define myself as LGBT, T in particular, until I was in my 20s.
It wasn't like I think I'm gay, it's no, I know it.
But I just knew that that was probably different and something I better keep to myself.
I didn't know what the reactions would be. I didn't want anybody to not like me. So I just kept silent about my inner feelings and just kept the door shut.
I didn't know anybody else in my position, and I didn't know who to talk to.
And I even heard rumors about other kids in high school, and I was terrified to even mention anything to them for fear that maybe those rumors were not true and that they would start to spread things about me.
A classmate of mine, when I was a freshman in high school, was rumored to be dating a senior girl, and that her car was vandalized. And I found it was intensely upsetting. And I remember going to talk to a counselor about my feelings, being very upset about that. And she looked me in the eye and told me that that was what she got for being different, which helped me to understand that my questions and my feelings needed to stay very, very deep inside of me.
I recall actually a particular group of kids in 7th grade who took it upon themselves to just torment me on the bus. It got bad enough that I started lying to my parents, saying that I'd missed the bus, and I would just watch it drive away and then get a ride home.
He got bullied. He didn't fit in. Eventually he dropped out of high school and left home.
It was really hard to feel that I was the only person in the world that didn't make sense.
All of my relationships at that time in my life were all based on this lie that I wasn't gay.
You start to become, well, I did, kind of became two people, an external Susan who tried to be what everybody wanted her to be, and then a very internal Susan who was very private and kept a lot of emotions and feelings to myself.
I finally said, I can't do this anymore. Let me just go to a meeting, see what it's like.
I made a decision that I wasn't going to hide who I was because, you know, college was already a more progressive place to be, and it was important to me that I actually lived the rest of my life like I should.
I started coming out to friends in the local area, basically just by showing up as my new self in girls' clothes. And everyone was very accepting, if a little bit confused. And that got me the courage to tell my parents.
And in that moment, though, I also realized that if she was going to have the courage to be who she was and to be out, that if I was going to be the kind of mom that she deserved, I had to have courage too.
I just started crying and told my dad, and he said, oh, of course we love you. You know, we didn't know. We just said that kind of thing just because that's how we were raised. We don't actually think it's awful.
Before my dad passed, we got to a good place. And my mom is still alive, and she and I are very close, and she's very accepting of who I am, and I would say very proud of who I am.
And it was liberating. They've known all this time, but they still liked me. I guess they were waiting for me to tell them.
And it was like a weight had been lifted off of my shoulders.
And soon I, circled myself around loving people that just accept me for who I was.
If you find someone that you're very comfortable with, you're friends with, sometimes you just have to take that leap of faith and you've got to talk to them and be real with them.
Just take a deep breath and it's just very simple to say, I am gay. That's all you have to say.
Every day from that point forward of making the decision to step out into the unknown and come out and share what my world is and my truth is where things started to get better. And after that, every day going forward has been better still.
Once I found the LGBT community at my campus and started going to their events and seeing what an awesome group of people they were and how accepting everyone is, that's when it started really getting better.
Not everybody's there yet, and that's okay. People should be, as public as they'd like to be, as public as they feel comfortable.
I think you have to love yourself, realize that you're a good person, realize what you have to offer to the world.
There are people who want to be there for you and who want you to be yourself.
And you just have to reach out to them, find a counselor or a neighbor, someone who you trust.
You need to surround yourself with a lot of supportive friends and family.
I've seen people becoming more and more open-minded and the difference, or to embrace people that they don't look or behave exactly like them.
Well, I think things are getting better because more people are realizing it's not a big deal at all. It's fine. It's the way people are.
It almost doesn't matter anymore. It's just who I am. It's one part of who I am, not everything about who I am. And so I get to live comfortably at work, at home, with my family, even in church, being who I am, and that's everything.
It's just becoming the new normal, where you're just defined by your character and not by who you love.
Being gay doesn't necessarily define you, it's just one factor of who you are. Here at NASA, I'm able to be an engineer, I'm able to be gay, I'm accepted, even loved.
These men and women come from all walks of life, different ethnicities and different orientations.
Embrace yourself for who you are, be proud of who you are, accept yourself.
Because there is a place for you in this world.
Just hang in there. It does get better. It gets great even.
It gets better.
It gets better.
It gets better.
It gets better.
It does get better.
It gets better.
It does get better. It really does.
It really does get better.
It gets a whole lot better.
It absolutely gets better.
And it gets so much better, and you can't even realize how much better it gets until you've seen it, until you've done it.
It will get better.
I'm Ellen Ochoa, Director of the NASA Johnson Space Center. I want you to know that here at Johnson Space Center, teamwork is one of our greatest assets. And that means we value the skills and talents of every individual, regardless of differences, including sexual orientation or gender identity. If you're going through difficult times right now, be patient and give yourself time to overcome the hardships. And I promise that life will get better.
It gets better.
I'm George Takei. It gets better. Better than George Takei?